Be sure to hop on over to the Spiritual Broadcast Network. It's the go-to place for all things spiritual. You'll discover internet television shows that you won't find anywhere else. You can also choose from hundreds of hours of spiritual documentaries and movies. You'll enjoy on-demand and live internet television programming 24/7. Best of all, we add new dramas, comedies, talk, and reality shows and more on a daily basis. So why spend countless hours searching the web when you can quickly find just what you want on the Spiritual Broadcast Network?
Thank you for tuning in to Shift Happens TV. Join us each Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we take you on a metaphysical journey. Be enlightened and entertained as we take you through life, love, and beyond in an inspiring and humorous way. Live your life with no regrets and die laughing.
Hi, and welcome to Shift Happens, where we enlighten, entertain, and shift consciousness one show at a time. I'm your host, Connie Jordan, along with my husband, Martin Jordan. I am a metaphysical comedian and author, and very soon, soul plan reader. I'll be taking Roger Hanson's, a guest that we had on recently, will be taking his course this weekend, and I will be available for soul plan readings very, very soon. My husband, Martin, a singer, songwriter, all-around musician, psychic, medium, hypnotherapist. I really should write this stuff down because the list just keeps getting longer and longer. Paranormal overachiever kind of sums it up for me. So today we do have a great guest on. It's going to be a lot of fun, but before we get to that, I want to make a few announcements, because usually once we get the guest on, we get so wrapped up in it and have a good time that I always forget the announcements. Monday, October 22nd, is the 5th Annual International It's All Good Day, and that is in honor of our son, Andrew Jordan, at 16 years old, who passed from leukemia 4 months after his diagnosis on October 22nd. So in order to shift the energy of that day, turning devastation into celebration, and to also help me cope, I turned it into International It's All Good Day, which was Andrew's saying. Now on, I think, Pure Heart Space, we need, I think we'll have information on there, but everybody can join in with us. You don't have to be there physically with us. We will be at Starkeeper Cafe in Sarasota having our celebration at the open mic there. So if you're locally in Sarasota, please join us. We'll have cake and balloons and all that, and then you'll get to hear local talent. But if you're not in the area, you can still join us in celebrating Andrew's attitude of it's all good. You know, no matter what happens that day, you know, really, seriously, no matter what happens, say it's all good. Because if our son could do it every day while undergoing leukemia treatment, then I think we can do it just for one day. So smile at a stranger that you wouldn't normally. Let somebody in traffic instead of cutting them off. Hold the door open for somebody. Just make an attempt to be really the attitude of it's all good. Let's see what else. Oh, Martin and I are doing readings together right now because Andrew has been coming to other people and telling them that I should be doing readings. So I said, okay, fine. So Martin and I are doing readings together right now. I'm also doing email readings, and like I said, I'll be doing the soul planning. Please make sure to get to find out where we're going to be, because we're going to be in the UK in November. We have a mediumship event in Sarasota this weekend at the Cosmic Center of Light, Spiritual Light, this weekend, this Saturday at 7 o'clock. So you'll find all this information at pureheartspace, space.com. You'll find out where we're going to be. You can sign up for our newsletter and find out everything that we have going on, because we have some really great stuff. We'll be in Fort Lauderdale next week doing another fairy workshop and also doing a pre-form regression. We've never done that, so that one's going to be a fun one. And so, yeah.
It'll be available on CD too, so I want to get that recorded.
Very good. And you'll be available. You're also available for in-person readings in Fort Lauderdale. So if you're in Fort Lauderdale a week from Saturday, trying to keep up with the dates here.
You're doing pretty good.
Really?
What's in your head?
October 27th, Saturday, at Crystal Vision in Hollywood off of Sterling Road. And again on Monday.
Right.
You'll be available there. All right, so I think I've got all of that today. So today I'm going to let Martin take over the introduction. We have a very special connection with Shaun. We've actually, I met him back in 2001 in Chicago at a Doreen Virtue event is when I first met him. He probably wouldn't remember meeting me. But then we traveled and worked together when we were staffing with Doreen Virtue. And also for anybody who might have seen the video that Roger Hansen did of our son, the psychic portrait, and we had Roger on our show. He wrote words and things around the picture, and one of the words was Shaun, and this was the Shaun that my son was talking about. So Martin, I'll let you hand over the rest of the introduction.
Did you just call him the Shaun?
The Shaun. Well, the Shaun because that's, shut up.
That's his hood name.
That's right. He's all gangsta.
So Shaun, how are you doing? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well, and I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I was talking with Connie last night, and she kept bugging me about having like a format.
I know, go and figure. Anybody who wants to take our fairy workshop, we talk about the wise one and the elemental.
Yeah, well.
You know, not really having a format, we're just going to discuss, just
Music.
things about how we met and stuff like that. And
Well, the really cool, there is a really cool connection between our son and your dad, who's on the other side. And it really is kind of neat the way all of this has woven together
yeah,
with us. You know, you talk about soul family, there's no denying that one.
no.
We can't get rid of each other.
As much as we may have tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never did, I swear.
No. And wise ones don't lie, apparently.
No, well, no.
Well, I wouldn't know if I go that far.
Now, what is the bio, Martin? Because I know you have
Okay. No, I noticed as I was reading your bio, under your influences, like myself, there's a whole lot of influences. You've got, of course, Michael Wise, who was your father. We're going to talk more about him later. You've got, of course, Yes, the Beatles, and then somewhere down the line you've got Bob Denver.
Seriously? Bob Denver? Gilligan? Was one of your influences?
That's actually a long-running joke. I put that on there because at a gig I was playing "Take Me Home, Country Roads," and I incorrectly introduced that song as being written by Bob Denver. And nobody really noticed but me, after I had said it, and I just kind of chuckled to myself, and I said, okay, I got to kind of call myself out here. And my brother, who was actually playing drums with me at the time, kind of laughed, and he's like, man, you got to put that on your page, and you got to keep it there. So it was one of those things that I just decided, hey, you know what, it's good not to forget, so I put it up there, and
Yeah.
Man, did Gilligan have a good time lost on that little island.
Right. It's like thinking, was it like a Jim Neighbors kind of thing, when you just weren't sure, could he sing? Did he do something,
Yeah, no, that was absolutely intentional, and it will never come down.
No,
So
I
did
think
he-
I like it because it made me laugh.
Well, I think you should learn the song now.
Yeah.
Do it at one of your
Gilligan,
gigs.
yeah,
Yeah, instead of 3-hour tour,
yeah.
3-hour
There you
gig,
go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm glad somebody else noticed that.
Yeah, well, it stuck out like a sore thumb, actually. 'Cause
Yeah, for us.
I've done a lot of proofreading in my day,
Yeah.
and it was just like, what?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great.
Oh, I want to know. Yeah, because Martin and I are sitting here laughing. I got to know how Bob Denver was an influence.
So I mean, was it what you thought it was, or was that kind of out of left field?
Well, we thought it was out of
the
left
explanation.
field. Well, oh no, the explanation.
Yeah.
We just figured you were going to say no. I meant to put Denver
Or John.
or John Denver, not Bob
John
Denver.
Denver,
But now hearing the explanation, it makes a whole lot more sense knowing you, Shaun.
Yes, and I still introduce it that way. I say, I once introduced this song by Bob Denver, and it's not, but we're going to play it anyways. So.
It's like, I'm going to do a song by the group No. I mean, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How did I mess that up?
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm going to help. This is why I'm here.
Yes.
I know a little bit about your music, Shaun, because you and your dad had actually toured together.
Yeah.
Now, so how old were you when, well, obviously music must have been a part of your life from very early on, your earliest memory with your dad.
Yeah.
And then when did you, how long did you tour for? And, what was, because I know you kind of did the country thing. It was very cool the way you got to travel and do that. And it was very...
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, like you said, I was around music from the time I can remember. I remember sitting in my dad's guitar case, at different gigs, while he's on stage, and my
That's
brother
so
and I.
funny. Knowing how tall
Yeah.
you are now, trying to picture you in one.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
old were you at the time? Was it like 17?
It was a really big guitar case.
Yeah, I think I remember that in the Chicago 200001. I'm like,
What's Shaun doing?
Exactly.
He's sitting in that guitar case. That's okay.
That's why I started playing bass, so I could get a bigger case.
Absolutely.
Because when when you're 6'3", they don't really make a guitar case big enough. But so that earliest, as far as I can remember, I've always been around music, but started playing guitar at the age of 12. At no real major push from my dad. It was kind of
same thing with Andrew.
Yeah.
Are you into it? And clearly was. And then we started. He started. Well, he's been doing music. Well, he was doing music, all his life, and asked me to join his band in 1999. And we kind of took off for the first time in early 2000, and then toured, pretty much quite a bit for the next 1.5 to 2 years. Got to see a lot of that.
Now, what kind of music category do you think you would put the music that you did with your dad? Because I love it.
That music would always kind of be considered, symphonic, spiritual, prog rock would be.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
The long-winded version of what it is. It was definitely rooted in, high vibrational, positive messages, and thanks to Mark Watson, who played keyboards, some odd time signatures and some extended sections, and songs being anywhere from 5 minutes to 17 minutes long.
Well, you have 5 minutes until you walked over and just unplugged the keyboard.
Yeah. So I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, the one CD, I noticed that one song would run into the other, there would be which is it was really great the way you guys did that.
I believe you're talking about the I Dream CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are still available. You can get them at I believe it is angelearthmusic.net. I believe they're available there, but they are also available on iTunes. And it's really nice to go to iTunes, because then I'll get a check for like 77 cents.
That's awesome.
If somebody buys a CD.
And I got to say, Shaun, for people that maybe didn't see you when we were all working with Doreen Virtue, I can't stress enough, you got to go listen to this music on iTunes or on angelearth.net, because
or you can contact me. I can give some contact info.
Oh, absolutely. This music. And I love the music, still with your dad's voice. His voice, there was just something
unique about it.
Yeah, there was just something powerful, and the vibration of his voice. Even on the Waves 3 CD, because we would use that for our meditation classes, and the way just his voice in the beginning, talking about the, I don't know, he seemed like he was part of the ocean. The way it came through.
There is life in the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I remember staffing the ATP classes, and that was always the song that, was played like 2 or 3 times.
Well, Find That Place Again.
Find That Place Again.
There was, Find That Place again.
Again and again and again and again.
And
Keep finding that place.
You find that place again.
And again.
Yeah, there were a few songs. Yeah, there's a few theme songs that we had, but yeah, that was kind of, the music was always around, and it was a great connection for us. We got to spend a ton of time together, having a lot of similar interests. I don't, whether it be by accident or by his semi-brainwashing.
Right.
Either way, I think I would have gravitated towards that stuff anyways, and that type of music. That
it suits you. It does.
Yeah.
That kind of music does suit you.
Yeah, that was kind of started with the Beatles, getting us into that. Both my brother and I, and then eventually into Yes, which was our favorite band, and they're still around.
What was it somebody dating Johannesson said about Yes? He was on the show, he says, mathematical rock.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the same way it was with Andrew, too, because Andrew fell in love with the Beatles, and he loved John Denver.
And Bob
he might have liked Bob Denver.
He might have liked him, too. You never know.
And it's really interesting to see the parallels, because the relationship you had with your dad is very similar to what Martin had and has now with Andrew, because I think your relationship with your father has evolved, just like ours had too with Andrew, and I think it's very cool how, because I know your dad really probably still influences your music, because you hear him like I hear Andrew Martin
Oh,
hears
yeah.
Andrew.
I mean, it's not anything. I mean, you know, even if you want to try to get away from it, which I never have, I've always kind of embraced it. You know, having his presence in the music, whether he was here or not, it's you know, it's part of me, which is basically the basis for a song I wrote about.
I love that song.
I know you guys have heard.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. I love it.
It's always going to be around, and you know, you can't do anything but embrace it, and you know, it's all good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's another song I think people should check out, especially if you've lost somebody very, very close to you, because you know, the song is very poignant too.
It's
always
also
a part
very,
of.
it's very Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, it's very deep. You know, it's got a kind of a run to
I
it.
wouldn't have given it that.
No, as a musician, it does. As a musician, sort of listening to it, it is very, very minor, kind of.
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. I believe it goes to D in the kind of drones in D minor there,
Yeah.
and you know, there's an E minor thrown in there. So yeah, I mean, it was, you know, intentionally written that way, and obviously with some help from my dad.
Yeah,
I'm
and it
gonna
does
lie
take you
there.
on that journey, which is kind
Yeah,
of cool.
yeah, and I mean, that song again is on my Facebook music page. If anybody has any inkling, you can go and listen to that song and a couple others. That are
Yeah, because
on
what
there.
is your Facebook page?
It's just Shaun Wise, and I have a personal page and a musician, you know, music page. The music page will say, and if you just click like it, and you know, you'll be able to. I think I got 5 or 6 tunes up there, a couple of originals and a couple of non-originals.
I'm sure I liked it. I must have liked it. If not, I will go like it.
I couldn't. I checked yesterday. I wasn't keeping track.
How
But
long
you
is?
should like it.
How long has the page been up?
The page has probably been up for a good year and a half.
Okay.
You know, all anybody in the Metro Detroit area, which is where I'm currently at, you know, solo shows as well as some shows with a new band, a new group of guys I've kind of gotten together here lately to do some shows. They're always posted on there, and it's kind of the precursor to a website of my own, and kind of getting and moving in that direction.
Cool.
Because I know that eventually we keep threatening that we'll be coming up to be able to record some songs together. That would be like a wild kind of a better full circle moment than the ones I've had since Andrew's passed. But to be able to, because Andrew loved, you know, the Angel Earth music as well. He would listen to that.
Adored it, yeah.
So to be able to record in the same studio that you and your dad did would be really, I can't even imagine what the energy would be like with Andrew and Michael there too.
Yeah, I think only good can come of it. And that's actually where I'm sitting talking to you guys from.
That's what I thought.
But Wise Song Studios, if you can't tell with all the, I don't know if you see the guitars over my shoulder.
Yeah.
All the all the fun toys and a few other ones you can't see. You got some drums over there. But yeah, it's a nice space and a good place to get out of my head. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, again, you know, when we had Dean on, he was wondering how what he does would fit in with our show, with The Shift Happens and, you know, like the metaphysical. But music is so about the soul and about who we really are and the vibration and where it takes you. You know, music takes you on a journey, and it takes you through, you know, as a teenager. Come on, it's all about the music. You can hear a song and it takes you right back to a time in your life. So to be part, I think music, to be able to sing and songwrite, you know, you're an intricate part of people's lives, you know, that stay forever.
But it's about getting the music as well, and where we derive the music or where we pull the music in from. Like, I'm always paraphrasing the, I nearly said Bob Denver.
Thanks, Shaun. That was great.
Bob Dylan interview, I think it was for Time magazine, where he suggested that all of the songs have been written, you know, and that I think it was either him or James Taylor said that. And what Bob Dylan said was that he doesn't own any of his songs. You know, once he writes them, lets them go, you know, that's, and I'm thinking, just stop paying him some royalties and he'll tell you.
And then we'll see how much. Why don't you sing some of his songs?
I wrote them. Keep the text coming, please.
Right.
No,
you know?
I mean, there is definitely a certain amount of truth to that. I mean, I think, you know, almost as truthful a statement as you can really say. you know, you're really just pulling songs out of, you know, the air or yourself or from.
I think the universal consciousness, the higher.
Yeah, but seriously, Dean pointed out to me too that there's only, like, I don't know who, I think it was Dean pointed out that there's only 8 notes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all of the songs and all of the stuff that's been written around those 8 notes has been phenomenal. So a lot of these things have to be channeled information, even with singers that don't know they're channeling.
Yeah.
So many people don't realize that they're channeling anyway.
No, they don't.
You know,
Yeah.
with the different concepts and things that they come up with, whether it's music or
Yeah.
the thing with the chiropractor, you
One of
know,
the
measuring
coolest
your
thi-
spine.
Yeah,
and-
one of the coolest things that we ever, that, like up there in terms of top 10 things that are cool, you know, was the time that you and I spent at Abbey Road
Yeah.
quite a few years ago
Mm-hmm.
when we did that touristy thing.
Oh, yeah, that was
musician
fun.
thing.
That was a lot of fun.
Crossing the Abbey Road crosswalk.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
much fun it was for the people trying to actually drive.
Yeah.
They seemed a bit irritated.
Well, I mean, they should have been irritated at themselves. They're going, "Oh, let's take that road," you know, and they go, "Oh, what was I thinking?"
Yeah, we can't drive in front of Abbey. We can't drive in front of EMI studios there.
Right, absolutely.
No.
It'd take forever.
Yeah.
Well, you know what was cool for me watching it was, you know, I was the one taking the picture, and it took a couple of tries, but we got the money shot.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We got the money shot, and Elisha found it right before she had to pack up her stuff to move. So she should be getting her own
awesome.
place soon, so I cannot wait for her to find that picture, because I want to get that blown up and framed and put in Andrew's room, because, I mean, I got the two of you guys. It was just everything, all the planets were aligned or whatever, because it is so perfect, the two of you
And we
on the
looked like
zebra
we
walk.
were walking. You know,
Yes.
it didn't look like
Yeah.
you were trying to.
No, you guys were kind of
choreograph it.
walking, but I
Yeah.
just was able to get that shot as your arms and legs and everything was perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The only thing I should have taken my shoes off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you.
Right, and had a cigarette in my hand, right?
Yeah.
A la Paul McCartney, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And sort of
No, yeah,
Photoshop in a Beatle in the background, Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, well, I'm sure we're
Yeah.
going to definitely be doing some things with that once we get that picture back.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was back in 2003, so I know your Photoshop.
Oh yeah, expertise.
Oh, yes. If you can put our granddaughter in a fortune teller machine with
I
the
did.
turbo.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty impressive.
It was pretty quick. Like I didn't get a chance to tidy it up, and a lot of the like, I mean, I've an excuse. I look at it and I'd give it about a 5 out of 10. You know.
Yeah,
I've never give you a 2.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, that crossing Abbey Road, you know, with you guys there, it was definitely a life highlight for sure. And,
Yeah, I'm glad you because you said I'm not leaving here unless we go to Abbey Road. And you didn't care what it took to get there, and I'm really glad that we did, because we got to sign the wall at the Abbey Studios.
Yeah.
Yep.
Abbey Road Studios,
yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, and Andrew was a little bit too young at that point to really, I think, fully. He was 12, and
Yeah.
so he was off with his
Yeah.
family in Northern Ireland, which was probably more fun for him than hanging with us at the
Yeah.
time. If he'd been a few years older, he would have been begging to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that right on that age where that would have probably been annoying. I know it would have been annoying for me at 12.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of, you know, on a train, in a cab, in a bus, you know, in a.
Oh my God, you're bringing all that
it was
back.
it was a plane to a train to a cab to a, you know, it was all.
Well, it was
we were all over the place.
A plane to a train to a train to a train to a train.
Yeah,
to a
Planes,
train.
trains, and automobiles.
To nowhere,
Yeah.
and then hopefully a cab would come pick us up and not kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, where are we?
All I kept thinking was, great, it's only a half an hour flight, and then 8 hours to get there afterwards.
Yeah, the flight was the easiest part. Yeah,
Yeah.
The 25-minute flight from
Dublin?
Ireland to
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Dublin
don't realize
to,
that.
London.
Like you don't realize that. I mean, you go to Europe, the flight is definitely going to be the easiest thing that you'll do from that point. Like, I mean, if you have to get into a car, forget about it. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we're good when we go over in November. I don't think we're going to have any of that.
No.
No,
Oh, my God.
yeah, it was definitely an adventure, and I had a blast. So,
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
yeah.
So talking about the band, how did you guys
Yeah.
meet? This new group of guys. I mean, how did you guys? hook
Well,
up?
you know, the easiest thing, my brother, Ryan, a couple years younger than me, is a drummer. You know, so, you know, music is the family business. So having him, he lives only a few minutes from me. It's nice to call him up and say, "Hey, drummer, You want to come and work on some stuff that I've been writing or recording, and he's always pretty keen to do that, and he's always up for a show, and got him together, and then he was in a band for a while, played the local bar scene with some guys he went to high school with, and I kind of picked their lead singer and guitar player from that band, and because they had kind of stopped playing. It was a band called Odeon, another local band, again, on Facebook if you want to check them out. But grabbed a singer by the name of Randy Gray and a guitar player by the name of Steve Dombrowski, and just decided, hey, or asked them. I didn't decide anything. I asked.
You will be here. You will show up.
I decided in my own head that this is what I wanted to do. Asked them if they wanted to play, and we actually had our first show a couple weeks ago, and it went really well. And looking to book some more shows, and just kind of starting with a few originals. We played mostly covers, just to kind of get the feel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what people in bars want to hear anyway. They want to hear something that they know.
Yeah. Ultimately, the goal is, play other people's music and get enough of your own stuff together, and then play your own stuff.
Now, were you able to play some of your songs?
Yeah, I do a solo set. I put the bass down and pick up the acoustic 12-string, which again was kind of inherited from my dad. He was a 12-string player.
Yeah, I was going to say that's Michael's instrument.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I, just the sound, again, kind of keeps me connected with him up on stage. And we do that, and did a song called Mother Earth. And I didn't play Part of Me. I haven't played that one in a while. Just didn't really get a chance to practice it. But yeah, did a couple of my own, and that's kind of the way it goes. And then trying to think, what else? A lot of Beatles, the usual bar stuff. But it was a good time, and like I said, we're looking to. The nice thing about having a studio is you don't have to, pay anybody else to record. You just say, hey, we got some stuff. You want to come on over? I know the studio owner.
Right.
He gives a really good rate. Come on over, we'll record,
and they'll feed you.
Yeah.
His mom makes hot pockets.
That's right. Hot pockets downstairs.
And don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink. Yeah, I thought about getting a fridge up here for some soda.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But,
Andrew was all about. Yeah, Andrew planned on getting, when he got out of the hospital, that he was going to get this computer that was going to get everything set up. He said he would never have to leave his room. He was going to get a fridge and put a hole in the wall into the bathroom so he'd never have to leave. And I said, listen, dude, once you get home, you clean up your own pee. Now, you also said, I remember you said a while ago that you and your dad have songs that you could probably make 2 or 3 CDs.
Oh, yeah. As part of my studio setup here, I've got incorporated the older stuff. I shouldn't say old or older. What we recorded a lot of the Angel Earth stuff on. I don't know if anybody's familiar out there with any type of musical home recording equipment, but we used what are called ADAT machines, and they're basically like VHS cassettes that you. There are 8 tracks on each machine. We had 2 machines that we hooked together, so you had 16 tracks. And I've got the old machines up here, and I can plug them right into my current setup with my computer into Pro Tools, and I can just dump all the tracks in. And there's probably 20 to 30, either demo or almost finished songs that either he was writing or we were writing, and or stuff that has vocal sections that I could use. One that actually I was just working on yesterday was an early Angel Earth tune called Angel of Love, which I believe Mark Watson wrote, but great vocal on it by my dad, and I think it was based on Interview with the Vampire, the movie. Okay. Just talking about, how the darkness was, I think it was Louis, Brad Pitt's character, the darkness. The darkness, he had grown tired of, living in the darkness, and he, needed an angel of love was kind of the idea behind it. And that was just like one of the many that I've been working on, just putting them in. And it's cool. It's really cool to work on a tune that was, maybe he did a vocal on in 2000. and now I'm
Yeah.
putting bass on it and drums and stuff. In 2012, it's nice. It's nice hanging out in the studio with him again. Very free as a bird, real love kind of Beatles anthology stuff that they did with those couple of unfinished Lennon songs.
Oh,
You know.
wow. Yeah.
There'll always be a lot of that, and like to finish up a few more of them. Put them up on the web there for people to enjoy.
What's interesting is what he said, because when we had Dean on about the inspiration for songs, and like for you now, your dad's there and with Andrew, but to hear that it's Interview with a Vampire, it's so, for people like me that don't write songs, it's interesting even how movies will take you on this journey and inspire songs, and because your mind just goes with that. So that's an interesting little story about that. Who would have figured Interview with a Vampire that Michael would have been.
Yeah, when you listen to a song, you really have a preconceived of what the singer was thinking, and that's why I knew a couple of really good poets in Ireland who used them. We're talking famous poets, famous Irish poets, and they used to laugh at what the critics said was in their head when they were writing the poem.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they really weren't. It's just like so off the wall sometimes what people are thinking when they come up with a tune. And I think that, like that for me, is, like I don't rule anything out when I come up with a tune. It's like and it's cool because one of my favorite songs by Dean Johannesson is Mr. Delaware. And it's about a kangaroo boxer in the 1920s.
Was that the one you were disappointed that it wasn't?
I was extremely disappointed. Because he told, and singer-songwriter, you tell the story of the song and then you sing the song, And he told the story of this guy who he wasn't really good enough to be a boxer like his father. Yeah. So he decided to run away and join the circus and became a kangaroo boxer and blah, 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 and the song goes like that. And I said, that's an awesome story. Then he told me he made it up. And I'm like, man.
I mean, that wasn't real? You didn't live there?
Oh, yeah. Martin was pretty crushed.
I was crushed. But then he said, it was not video on YouTube. I said, yeah, I've seen the black and white video of the kangaroo boxer. Well, he was watching it late one night and decided he got a song from it. And I'm like, that is pretty cool.
But like you said, it was a metaphor about a father being disappointed in his son.
And I'm
like,
maybe, yeah, blah, 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 blah. You lied.
Yeah.
And then he brought up with the herpes song that you actually did not have herpes.
Absolutely.
So there.
I had to sit back and take that then because, I'm just like with the song that I wrote called Lady of the Night, because I'm playing around with open G tuning.
Yep.
And it's about a
hooker
in Dublin on Leeson Street, and what they're thinking, what's going on in their heads as they're standing out there.
Now, did you really ask her?
No.
Did you, see?
No.
Making it
I
up.
think I might have seen one from a distance when I was on Leeson Street, but I think that was
that was the close that you got, right?
Yeah, but you, again, it's
it
like,
better
okay,
be.
So you're not going to call me out on this show. Shift happens.
Yeah,
I think,
but yeah,
you don't do it. It's you either make it, you mold.
Inspired by.
Yeah, inspired by, and you're sitting thinking, okay, why did that come into my mind? Why was that scenario come into my mind like a story, so then I could write a song about it. That kind of thing.
You don't question where the influence is coming from.
No.
You just kind of you take it and it takes form, and you kind of just let it do what it does. We talk, like Eleanor Rigby. Totally made up the whole thing, Father Mackenzie, and and they didn't exist. I mean, at least in Paul McCartney's world, he just kind of took names and made up the story with help.
Well, you figure it existed somewhere.
Yeah, but you can look at it and you can
go...
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
You look at it and you think, yeah, it's possible.
There's hookers on Leeson Street, right?
Yeah, Lower Leeson Street. It's a red light area, And I think, when you look at, like, Eleanor Rigby and songs, and Bungalow Bill...
Yep, same thing.
And Rocky Raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, the end, the list is endless.
Oh, yeah, especially for the Beatles. It's like, because you're running out of stuff that we know, because we've written 300 million songs. We're the most prolific. Yeah. Lennon and McCartney, one of the most prolific songwriting teams out there. Almost more prolific than Boodle and Brian, who wrote a lot of Elvis' stuff. But I think, you look at it and you go, okay, I mean, we just want to be We want to be prolific, but we want the songs to sound good, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you don't write the songs to be popular or, you know, or prolific or whatever, but I mean, you know, you have something to say and you want to say it, and you know, it takes its form. And if people like it, I mean, that's a bonus, you know, obviously to be able
But
to
do you have a format,
out.
like verse, chorus?
No. I mean, and that...
Music to your ears?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I mean, it really depends on my mood. You know, if I'm sitting down with... I mean, a lot of times I'll just get ideas and starting points, or maybe a chorus type section will kind of pop up, or... I mean, I tend to write, if I'm writing on guitar, you know, acoustic 12-string, which is typically what I write on, there'll be a little more formula, at least in the beginning, to it. Like, oh, this sounds like a verse, this sounds like a chorus, you know, and then I'll get it on the computer, and then I'll start adding stuff. Typically, when I get to like putting keyboards and different layers on there, that's when I'll tend to expand sections and move things around. And I don't necessarily. I'm not concerned with the initial what I thought the structure was going to be. You know, I just kind of let the song.
How do you feel about bridges?
Yeah, dictate to me, you know, with a bridge or not. But you know,
I hate bridges.
Yeah, you know, when you do a longer song, though, you know, a bridge is kind of obsolete, anyways. You're just kind of extending sections and doing that sort of thing. But yeah, you don't need to adhere to any type of, you know, ABA, you know, verse chorus kind of.
Apparently, you do if you want to sell a song in Nashville.
Well, you know, I'm not trying to play country music, but I mean, if you are, it's okay too. And you know, I mean,
just redeemed yourself.
Yeah, right. Realize, no, wait a minute, people can see me and hear me, right?
No, I don't. I nothing against country music, but I mean,
you just don't write for it.
It's not. I mean, I've written stuff that, you know, had a little country tinge to it, you know. But
like Bob Denver stuff.
Yeah, like Bob Denver stuff, or John Dylan, or
Lucky Luciano. Okay, it's a different show now.
Yeah, so I mean.
Yeah, those guys.
You know, those guys.
You know, and I think it's part. You know, the issue is, you know, popular radio. I don't think gives listeners enough credit. I think people would be accepting of songs that aren't necessarily.
Oh, I agree.
The proper format if they were just given the opportunity to listen to it on a, you know, on an hourly, daily basis, which you know, get in your car and all you hear is, you know, if you go to a top 40 station, it's, you know, verse, chorus, bridge, you know, that type of stuff, where I think, you know, given the opportunity, the casual listener would be open to it. I just don't think they're given a chance.
No, I agree. I think the regular music listener is smarter than these music stations.
Well,
these songwriters give them credit.
And I think, like when we were talking with Dean, that the open mic, that there is a resurgence now of getting back down to the basics. You know, a singer with the guitar. I mean, the open mic that Martin goes to, and there's several in the area. There's a Monday and a Wednesday. It's amazing the local talent that's here in Sarasota, and that, you know, we can't encourage people enough to get out there and support local talent by going to the open mics in your town, you know, because there's such...
And get out and support your local bands. You know,
yeah.
This is kind of what it's all about. You know, because there's a great band from Sarasota called, I don't know if you've ever heard them yet, it's a band called Boyce Avenue.
No, I have not.
Boyce Avenue, because I put it wrong. Well, my niece knows who they are in Ireland, and they're from Sarasota. They were sitting across from us at Olive Garden, so we had to get a picture with them, since they're actually quite a big name.
Yeah, well, they started out too doing a lot of covers, you know, like Coldplay, Jason Mraz, and he's got a great voice, and his brother's in the band also, and then sort of doing some of their own stuff.
Yeah, you slide that stuff in there. You know, you got their attention with the covers, and then you throw in your stuff.
Yeah, and the reason I go to listen to Jon Anderson is because he didn't do any covers.
Yeah, well, I like all of his stuff.
Yeah, his stuff is really, really, really good. And Joe Bonfiglio is another guy. I mean, he writes a song an hour.
Yeah.
He's one of the most prolific songwriters I know. You know, and I'm saying, like, I know people who write a lot of songs, but when Joe writes them, they're really, really good songs. You know, and I think, you know, with that kind of energy, that's what I wanted to get into. But there's just too much going on. right now to be writing song after song after song.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could just, have that talent and
Shel
just be able to do it?
Silverstein, yeah, just to be sitting, just write songs,
Now, I have a question for both of you.
Okay.
When are you two going to write a song together?
Whenever he's ready, or whenever I'm ready.
Do you see that?
Ball in your court. I'll take it back.
Here's the ball. Give me it back.
There you go.
Very passive aggressive of you, Shaun, my man.
I know. Well, I didn't. I mean, obviously, it's within both of our power to make it happen. So.
Well, him and Steven did a song together.
Yeah, he was telling me about that yesterday.
Yeah, it was an awesome tune. And as I said, it was really funny. I don't know if I told you, but he'd send me the lyrics down, and I'd change the lyrics and send them back again, and he'd send them down again. And there was this one word, darling, that was in the song, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So I kept taking it out, sending it back, and then he'd send it back to me, and the word was back in again. And I'm like, man, it sort of dates the song.
Yeah, very country western. Nice.
That's what I thought, right?
Yeah.
And although I bleed country, I am country through and through.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it back to him, and I said, okay, we'll go with that. But it sounds very Hank Williams to me, not just country, but not only country, but and he sent me back lines from about 6 Beatles songs.
Yeah.
And Oh Darling was the first one at the top.
Little darling.
Little darling.
Here comes the sun.
Oh, darling.
Yeah. Here comes the sun. Oh darling, please believe me.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And I'm like, okay, I said corrected. Man did his own work.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw Beatles at me, and because he knows that I'm
Well,
yourself, I'm a Beatles nut,
Well, Steven started the song, and he wanted to write this song and then asked you. So it'd be interesting to see which one of you comes up with a song that you want help on, because I know Andrew and Michael will be inspiring you both, and you're each going to have a piece of the song. So it's be interesting to see who comes up with it first.
Yeah, but it's really funny. It's really funny, but in Steven's song, the last line is, "Please set me free," and I changed it to "Please don't crucify me." Or "Don't crucify me." Sent it back, it came back, "Please set me free."
Yeah.
So I changed it again and sent it back. He thought it was too harsh, sent it back. So when he does the cover, it's "Please set me free," but when I do the cover, it's "Crucify me." So it's kind of cool since we both wrote the song together.
Yeah.
Each have your own version.
This is my version of it.
Each has its own special ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That's very cool.
Now, if I was going to record it, I consider that song more of Steven's song. So I would record it the way he wrote the last line.
The way he wrote the last line, yeah. Definitely.
Because I think that would be more appropriate. Just keep the changing the words around for the live sets,
Well, yeah, I mean, that works out great, I think. But yeah, if you felt like it was more his tune, then definitely recording it that way would seem to make sense.
Yeah. Because it's a great number, and it kind of sort of, I know it was a release for Steven. When we do songs like that, we release stuff, and I think it's kind of cool. It's in a very dark minor chord, and it's, when you sort of change up from a minor to a major, like you don't really hear too many happy songs in a minor chord.
No.
Well, this is what is interesting too. Because even for the songwriter, the song, you hear this all the time, where inspiration comes from, and, especially when you hear it on the radio, a lot of it comes from heartbreak, a lot of these songs. And so even for the songwriter, there's a lot of healing in the music, whether it is about heartbreak. Of course, with us and for you, Shaun, it was a different kind of heartbreak. But it is cathartic for the songwriter and, the singer to be able to write about... Well, who was it? Pink too. She puts it all out there.
Yeah.
And her husband still talks to her.
Yes, I mean absolutely. It's not just for the people, to obviously, pull whatever kind of meanings they want out of the song. I mean, obviously, songwriting is such a personal thing that you can't help but be affected by your day-to-day life or loss or even happiness or whatever it is, that's going to going to find its way through, no matter what you're doing. Sure.
But I think how I'm going to start out with this is I've got some unfinished lyrics. I got some lyrics, and I'll sort of send you the lyrics, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Whether I can add some lyrics, or if I got a tune in my head, or written down somewhere that I think would go well with the lyrics, we can definitely mash them together and see what comes out of it.
So I have a question then too. Then with your recording studio, it's like a full recording studio, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's as full a recording studio as you can get.
Well, then I'm looking at Martin. Well, it's either studio time or flights.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that.
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean you guys are always welcome. And
I got to meet your son because you've got another generation coming up.
Yeah, got a almost 3-year-old. 3-year-old. Emery Michael is his name.
Nice.
And named after my dad. My dad was Michael Emery, so we flipped it. And he loves coming up here. He loves to bang on the drums. So definitely would love for him to meet you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, you guys are always welcome, and I can't use this stuff enough up here. Whether
Excellent.
It's for myself or anybody else. So.
That's going on our manifesting list, and we're going to be working on that because it's about time. I'm feeling it.
It'll be during the summer, though.
Well, I don't know.
You don't want to come up here in February. It's not very nice.
No, we already did
good,
that.
and we want out of here during the summers.
We already did that in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, we only have a few minutes left, Shaun, so I want to make sure that we get your stuff in. So where's the best place to find your music?
The best place to find my music would be Facebook, as of right now. Just look up Shaun Wise, ShaunWise, and on there, like I said, got some tunes, and all my contact info is there. I also have, if you want to contact me, I can get you whatever you would like, whether it be Angel Earth CDs, which were, I believe, 2 of them that I can sell. The first one I did with them was I Dream, which we released in 2000, I believe, and then Find That Place, which was released in 2001. I can get you those, as well as anything else. But yeah, Facebook is the place to go. And
you're on Reverb Nation as well?
Yeah, I actually haven't checked that in quite a while. You can go to Reverb Nation. I'm on there. I think the same songs I have on Facebook are on Reverb Nation. Same thing, just my name. But stay tuned for a website, hopefully in the making.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, let us know because we'll be in more contact now that we've hooked up, and I will be sending you. I will be sending you.
Oh, and I'll be pushing you guys. Just saying.
Yeah.
I want to get our information in too.
Yeah.
Did you have something to say?
No, I was just,
we're going to make this happen.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Right. So to contact us to find out where we're going to be, pureheartspace.com. And you can find out about the readings that we do, Martin and I together, him on his own, soul planning, where we're going to be, pureheartspace.com. And then our next show, we will be with Sharon Elizabeth. We're talking about crop circles.
Crap circles?
Crap circles. Bob Denver.
Bob Denver and his crap circles.
And also about fifth dimensional stuff. So Shaun, thanks so much for coming on our show and sharing your music and laughter and all that. It's great to see. Well, I was able to see you. I know you couldn't see me, but watch the video.
I know. The pleasure was all mine, and I'm very honored you guys wanted me to have you on your show. And I look forward to catching any more of these shows.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, check out tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, at the front page of pureheartspace.com. That's where this show is going to be airing.
And then also on SBN, TV,
SBN
video.tv, for all the other videos. So we have to say goodbye. So remember to live your life with no regrets.
And die laughing.
Thank you for tuning in to Shift Happens TV. Join us each Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we take you on a metaphysical journey. Be enlightened and entertained as we take you through life, love, and beyond in an inspiring and humorous way. Live your life with no regrets and die laughing.